fact that Popback also has Cho in the hands to actually remove you. You had already Jawhead to be actually banned out in that first on the second series itself or second round itself, but you forgot Cho was able to do that. So, and those are the things that EVOS Esport, they have to ground it off. But now it seems that going into the ban, they are still sticking to Jawhead ban off, Hilda also been banned off, and Luoyi. Going into Lazy Esports, it seems that Lazy Esport denying of Joy to be picked up because they know EVOS is gonna have that first pick. Jushin and Fanny also has been banned off.
Yeah, the thing is, the Joy not being locked down was actually the same issue in both games. Both teams have lost to it already without properly respecting what the hero is capable of, even though many other teams here in the challenge season have already shown that it is perfectly manageable. I'm gonna be honest, I do feel like both EVOS and Lazy are a bit lacking in their way to adapt, as well as the strategy that they are considering going into these matches. And even if they make it through this round, are going to have a bit of difficulty against Blacklist International unless they're able to show some sort of evolution right here. EVOS will go ahead and lock in that Suyo since the Joy is gone. This will leave Lazy the option to go for the Matilda opening bait here, like with the Matilda and Granger.
Agreed, definitely. I'm thinking that's the ultimate choice they have and to actually counter it off. Granger will definitely one of the picks itself. Yep, that's gonna be it for Lazy Esport. Or is it gonna be an Orthodox? Like we saw how they did pick up Granger, but I was expecting maybe another tank hero, but ended up they picking up Cho instead for this round. I think they saw how so much success was built up because of the pick of Cho, so they're gonna actually stick to that. Now, EVOS Esport, you have a lot of ways to actually move around with this. I mean, like, possibly you can actually take off the side of high loss in your hands. Maybe you can slow things down for yourself. Even Harith can be picked up, but Lucas will be their priorities here for EVOS Esports, and Irital also on their guts to be stolen from Lazy Esports.
Lucas so far has been determining a lot of these games between these two teams in particular, because it does seem like both sides enjoy and prefer sticking quite closely together to take these team fights. It does also mean that heroes like Tigreal will probably have a very good time still questioning why it is not being picked up here when other teams are making good use of it, but it is all good if these teams want to stick to their comfort picks instead. With the Lucas and Suyo, as well as the Iritel, the AoE potential of EVOS is already locked in once again, and we see the CC coming out to be able to match lane priority in the EXP lane.
CC, I mean, like we did saw that a couple of times that CC has already been banned off, and we do saw how Onyx was able to actually have a really good composer to use that CC to potential. So Lazy Esport liking the idea, the initial idea so far to respond back to EVOS Esport. Now, banning wise, coming in from the side of teams, I mean, talking about how EVOS Esport, it seems that they are prioritizing on damage and survivability. So now, wondering how they're gonna actually counter out. Will they actually try to find something that denies them to actually have a mobility wise? Seems that Lazy Esport will be picking off Eve to be taken up as a ban. They don't want anyone to actually hold them ground, get that CC on the control wise. RWM will be a little bit of hassle, especially the fact they want to have so much mobility on their side.
I mean, RWM with Iritel and Lucas on top of that, like, you just cannot ever team fight at all. So I understand Lazy Esports going for that ban. They also get rid of the Matilda so that EVOS don't have a bit of a safety net to play around. And because they didn't go for the alpha in the first phase, EVOS are able to ban it out. So the top three junglers that we've been seeing between Joy, Alpha, and Hayabusa have already been taken out of the pool. Wait, did I say Hayabusa there? I meant that Hayabusa was available.
Yeah.
You know, that would be the next one in line. It was on my mind, so it came out of my mouth. So Valentina also getting banned out there. Lazy will probably have to go for that unless they're trying a different type of jungler. I mean, they could still go Fredrin if they really wanted to, since CC leans a bit more into the damage style, but they go for the Farsa, which also combos well with the Cho, so I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and we did saw it. There's so much fruitful coming in from that. Once you have the ways of dragons picking off, and then you will be able to control a lot of the movement. Because again, we saw how it was when Chobska was able to do so much of the damage, and it actually gives so much of the support that is needed for Lazy Esport to finish off the players of EVOS Esport. So Lazy Esport, they are sticking to what they feel is already successful. Why break something that it was not broken, like already been done? So you are going to repeat that. Hopefully EVOS Esport already expecting it, and they're going to actually respond wise. We do see Farmis will be picked up for their last two picks, and Gadget Kacha as the last one as well.
Alright, I think the Gatot's actually pretty good here. Immediately counters the Farsa, but the Martis comes out instead of the Hayabusa. It has been a very long time since we've last seen this hero. But NetherRealm could also mess with the Decimate stacking a bit. So Lazy is trying to stick to a bit of a pocket pick here, disregarding the potential counterplay. Let's see if it will be enough to push them forward into the final bracket of Group A.
I feel again this is Lazy Esport just going into a much comfort zone, because you talked about Hayabusa is still in the pick, right? They could have actually taken it out, and it's a really good idea to insert the gameplay of Hayabusa, getting that mobility wise that is needed in Lazy Esport, despite the fact that you have Cho. But again, Cho pretty much has that single-handed combat that you have to be aware of, and if he's pretty much occupied with one hero, you're not going to be able to actually have a good opportunity to have the mobility wise with the rest of the heroes on the side. But then again, maybe Lazy Esport has a better chance here to actually portray an idea that I haven't seen yet. We don't know. But coming into match number 3, this is round number 3, the last round, best of 1, for them to see who goes home and who stays still here at the SPS Challenge Seasons.
Looking at it as well, James Pons has gone for that killing spree on the Martis. None of that more universal, impure rage. He intends to go on kill streaks against EVOS Esports. So honestly, this is a very greedy pick and setup that Lazy Esports is trying to go for. Their pickoff potential is going to be very, very high, but their ability to team fight is almost non-existent. EVOS Esports is going to be team fighting quite a lot around this NetherRealm, so I don't know how well this will work for them, but it's going to be fun to see whether it does.
It's really tough, seriously. Again, the idea that has been portrayed by Lazy Esport, it has so much of just as a short form, I would say I'm a bit scared for them, and hopefully they might actually have a better potential with the Martis on their side. Again, comfort choice wise, if you're actually quite aware and confident and you know how to actually go in with that hero, maybe Lazy Esport can surprise us off here for round number 3. But then again, we do see somehow most of the teams, most of the players are just actually having their own focus right now. And it seems that Popbet is finding an opportunity. They want to actually go in already. This is already going into level 3, level 4 as well. So they're looking for a way out. They're going to actually try to actually initiate that team fight itself. But not just yet. You need to actually be very patient, as Turtle already been spawned.
Yeah, EVOS Esports, basically their goal in this game is just to avoid fighting too much early, but the first turtle is already coming out.
And Predator X-Prize coming in and a lot of damage coming through. Annabelle takes down the turtle. At the same time, they did manage to get the first blood to Veldora. And this is where Lazy Esport, they're looking a bit better off on the first game itself. So much damage that couldn't be done by EVOS Esport, but they did manage to get the turtle. But at what cost, as Lazy Esport did trade off for the kill.
Yeah, I think Veldora was just slightly too far away, because Clock could almost made it to him with the NetherRealm to save him from the Decimate, but it wasn't quite enough. I was literally just about to say that EVOS Esports doesn't need to prioritize fighting too much early on, because if they can just avoid giving too many kills to James Pons, they will naturally win the mid to late game anyway. But getting the turtle still not too bad.
Razor Dragon coming in, stunning out Tony, but at the same time, it's not going to be enough, though James Pond had to pull away. Popbat also has to push, and now damage coming through. James Pond tried to finish it off, did manage to be taken down by Nikki instead, and Team Lazy Esport unfortunately had the trade into the side of EVOS Esports.
That was very unfortunate timing for James Punks right there. He wanted to decimate Tawny. The Gatot was on such low HP, but he managed to get the AOG out just in time. And because he was invulnerable, the decimate targeted Annabelle instead, who wasn't within range, and put James Punks too far out of position for his team to potentially save him. So that immediately stifles his killing spree already, and EVOS Esports now in a much more confident position.
Waves of Dragon coming in from Nikki. Nikki will be taken out by Chizo with the backup as well. And at the same time, right now, it's going to be trade-off for Lazy Esport. Babet is not going to overextend. They already got what they needed to shut down Nikki. And this is a good prioritize coming in, at least for the side of EXP. And the fact that we do see right here, Team Lazy Esport, some of the back and forth are doing well.
I think both of these teams really need to do a better job of keeping track of the enemy roamers' rotations. There is no reason for your gold laner to be caught out like that when you have the presence on the map to be able to respond to it. It's still not too much damage. The net worth still pretty even as we approach the 4 minutes. Second turtle now spawning. There's going to be 4 members of both teams around here. Pakbet not going to be able to find anyone, but
he goes in for the Waves of Dragon to Annabelle. At the same time, Feather Ops Aspire did does damage. Annabelle takes down the turtle for the second time. But at the same time, the Gato Gacha Avatar of Garden doesn't pick up anyone, doesn't manage to actually get it. But at least Tony will be taken off. And that's just an extension coming in from EVOS Esports for the trade of Lazy.
Yeah, EVOS Esports is just using their bodies to zone Lazy off of the objective, and they are able to get another turtle under their belt, but they're also surrendering some kills over to James Punks, which really does not need to happen. The more kills that Amartys has, the better he scales into the mid game. He has gone for a Hunter Strike first item, but looks to be gearing up for more defensive itemization after that. Lazy now having their eyes set on the gold lane.
Shortcut goes in for the Feather Air Strike, and it seems that Clockun also will be overstanding, giving at least some of the information where James Pang will be, and that's good info. At least EVOS will have their eyesight, being cautious of the awareness now. It seems that Combat also has been spotted out, denying any of the composure from Lazy Esports.
Lazy Esports gonna have to play this a bit more carefully, but also aggressively. Cho Martes Barca is a very powerful pick-off combination, and they need to be able to get more kills with it.
Waves of Dragon coming in, Combat able to be put out, but at the same time, he has to move away, and they are giving a lot of damage, but not gonna be enough as Tony takes down James Pang. There's an opening coming in from EVOS. There will be the second victim of Nikki, and 2 kills in the hands of EVOS Esports. Combat had to move away. Red has already been cleared out by mid lane, and Lazy Esports, just when they thought they had the idea, it ended up in the favor of EVOS Esports.
In a straight up 5v5, EVOS is stronger. No question. Undeniable. Unless they make some kind of huge mistake in positioning. It is so much easier for them to take death ball duels compared to Lazy, who really needs to be able to pick people off one by one. Like, I literally mentioned they need to be aggressive, they need to find kills, and they tried to do that, but it's difficult when EVOs are all together. You cannot let them group up. You ideally want to catch them off tempo, because that's the only way you're going to be able to definitively secure a kill streak onto this Martis.
But Josuke takes down Cloakun. That's in the opening, and here or not, they try to actually go in for Tony. Doesn't manage to do so. Some of the damage has been done. Popbet also just try to be aware of the situation. He's waiting for the right time. He knows for a fact that he has to invest the right timing for the Waves of Dragon. He goes in for the extension of the turtle. Right here, he's looking for a way out. He saw Annabelle, but doesn't manage to do so, as Annabelle will be able to get the turtle away. So 3 turtles already in the hands of EVOS Esports. They're already in the lead of that economy-wise.
Yeah, Lazy Esports needs to be willing to split push at this point. They need to drag the members of EVOS apart so that they can maybe get some ganks in. Because otherwise, they're just gonna stick together all the time. You already saw it in that last turtle of the game. They just group together. They just stand in front of the river. What are you going to do, right? Even if Pakbet gets a kick, there's no guarantee that the team will be able to actually follow up on it because of this Gatot and Lucas. That is the problem that this composition has. The Martis is an interesting idea, but one that I already didn't agree with in the draft from the first place. And I'm sure that EVOS is aware of that as well. They're slowly building up their presence. They've got the gold lead. They just got to make sure they don't get split push against. And the game should just naturally fall into their laps.
So James Bond and actually find a way. It's going to be Choska to open up with a Feather of Airstrike, and we do see that a composure coming in from the EVOS to clear out the first lane or the bottom lane of the first level 2 raid. So now they have already much mobility as well as control into the territory of Lazy Esports.
Yeah, they're gonna be able to expand their control a bit further. The less towers that Lazy have to play with too, the more difficult it is to force EVOS Esports apart, because it's a lot more risky for them to push out to try and get a minion wave going. So the longer Lazy lasts without really doing anything, without really achieving anything or getting pickoffs, the worse it is going to get for them. Mark this, is not picked up for a reason. His drop off in the mid to late game is legendary in and of itself.
Oh, this is gonna be a bit tough on the side, and we do see that EVOS is just finding a way to actually go into each and every infiltration they are required to go into Lazy Esport. And Lazy Esport, as you talked about how they cannot mess things up. If they want to actually separate off, they could have actually tried to control most of the movement that EVOS is. But now, going in, Feather Airstrike being used by Chovska to find the information. Right here, Lord will be teased off. Already half of it already been cleared out. And Tony, finding a way, is just looking for that Avatar of Guardian to actually control it off. And Team Lazy Esport, they're scattered. They're not allowing it. They're denying any ways of EVOS Esport to team up against them.
Well, they're slowing down the approach here, which I do like, and they do have a wave pushing up top that could force EVOS into an uncomfortable spot, so I do like the discipline I'm seeing from Lazy right now. As long as they can guarantee that they have the numerical advantage, then it becomes a lot easier for them to actually try team fighting. But it's still going to be difficult. They have to somehow set up kills for James Punks while keeping him safe enough in the back line, and that's going to be difficult to achieve when their only source of CC is this show.
And again, Kovskut comes in with a Feather Airstrike. They did manage to pull through for the 2-day, but at the same time, right here, gotta be aware it. Tony will be the first victim of Chizo. At the same time, Clockwood trying to find a way to go in for the fight with Power. At the same time, overextension comes through from Veldora. A lot of damage coming in, but it's not gonna be enough though. But Team Lazy is where they're not done. They're going all out to Annabelle. Not gonna be easy. Annabelle managed to pull away.
There were so many opportunities there that James Punks could have gotten decimated, was just not quite close enough, or that the NetherRealm was able to save them. That's how much difficulty he is having in this game right now. But Lazy did approach that Lord fight very, very well. They're actually able to narrow the gold lead quite a lot, though. The minion wave up top ends up giving EVOS a free tier 2, since they're not really able to respond to it. And since they know that the CC is up top, Lazy can't really contest this anymore. Honestly, they should back it off.
They should back it off, but here, Waves of Dragon picking off Annabelle. Is it gonna be enough? Nope, it's gonna be Puppet who was taken out. Cloakun takes down Shizo as well for the trade. And now Jankspot right in the open. He's gonna be taken out. He's trying to survive, but he will be shut down by Veldora. So much of the potential was been put out by Lazy Esport now, having a lot of struggle. Dur had to pull away as quickly as possible, denying of Team EVOS to make even more damage. And here, with a lot of light line already been depleted, Team EVOS Esport looking better, but lot on the side of Team Lazy Esports.
Somehow, despite everything, James Punks was still able to get that retreat in time, since he was able to pick off Annabelle. I figured that they needed to back it off, but hey, they got the Lord. But is it really the most worth it, since they lost so many members and Shizo ended up dying for the first time as well? You could argue that it kind of is, since EVOS will not be able to get any additional structures thanks to that play. Right now, Lazy is in a very, very crucial timing. It is basically the last chance for them to be able to create some kind of snowball presence on the map. And if they fail to do so in the next couple of minutes, EVOS Esports will just outscale them directly.
And it seems that Lazy Esport is finally trying to actually pull out, and it seems that Tony spotted out them right in the open. Doesn't actually pull out. Instead, Tony not doing anything, ended up being in the sacrifical of Lazy Esport. But they are going in all out to Cloakun, doing some damage. Cloakun had to pull away as quickly as possible, denying of them to be taken out. So Team Lazy Esport, they find an opening. Tony could not do anything as he was hanged up.
Alright, this is good. Like I mentioned, this is the last chance for Lazy to make something happen. They need to play aggressive. They need to find any pick-off that they can get. But they only have so many minion ways to work with. They're unfortunately not very good at split pushing with the heroes they have. Wave management is a little bit of an issue. It's not bad what they were able to get with that last one. They got a kill, they got some damage in mid, were able to clear out all the external towers, but they need a little bit more. Shizo now going to play a very, very important role. As we all know, late game Granger can do a lot. This team needs to make sure to be able to defend him, since an AOG could just come out of nowhere.
Let's see. They clear out all the marching minions. So far, EVOS Esport is trying to actually make sure that they'll be able to be in between the fights all alone, not all alone, to be tagged off all alone by the side of Team Lazy. Well, that's the reason why they're being cautious, denying any of the Lazy what to pick off easily. That's the mistake that was done by Tony before, and it gave a little bit of opening for Lazy Sport, but they didn't continue on that measure, that momentum, to a point they could have actually get another kill, but it's okay. It gives a lot of space for Team EVOS to breathe.
Team EVOS does need the space to breathe right now. They are still better in a direct 5v5, but Tawny is definitely a lot less tanky than he used to be, and Lazy trying to go for the flank.
Coming in right now, it seems that Popbat goes in for the Waves of Dragon, picking out straight away Annabelle, but doesn't manage to go in for the connection. He's gonna actually have to sacrifice by Nikki instead, and Annabelle takes down Jinx Fan for the trade, and there will be finishing off for the double kill of Annabelle as well. So much of the potential and investment was done by Lazy, yet been denied by EVOS.
I think we can officially call it there. I mentioned that that was Lazy's last chance. These few crucial minutes, they needed to win a definite team fight to keep themselves in the game, but they ended up losing 3 to that last one. Evo should be able to start running them down. They've got the Lord. As long as they sync up the wave, should be able to take all the external towers, even an inhib for free up here before the Lord has connected. And Lazy no longer has the hero presence they need to really be able to handle it. Their base defense is still going to be fairly solid with a Granger and a Farsa, but they have to really time their movements because of the potential of Tawny or Veldora just jumping into the backline. That kind of consideration will paralyze them.
Yeah, definitely. And it seems that Tony going in for the Inverter of Guardian. James Wan takes on Veldora immediately, and now they're looking for the next one. Popbat right in the open, try to clear things out. Did manage to actually at least make sure that Team Lazy Esports still survive it out, and they managed to skirt away Team EVOS Esport, and Lord will be finished off. But marching of the minions are something they have to be aware of.
I am face palming a little bit from that play. I get that you want to zone them off of the tower so that you can get it for free, but you can do it in a lot safer way than that. There is a Cho over there. Your team is not ready to follow up after you. If Veldora didn't die there, that last inhibitor should have probably fallen for EVOS as well. It's not a big deal, but it is more space given to Lazy than they logically should have. I already pointed this out before this game started, but it does feel like both of these teams are still missing something in the general scheme of things. They get very messy into the later stages, and a lot of unnecessary mistakes come out. So even though Evo should be able to directly win engagements here, if they take too long, they could be whittled down by Shizo, and if they're not careful with their cooldown management, they could get disrupted as well. I actually have no idea who is going to come out on top right now.
It's tricky because, again, we keep on saying both of the teams are making mistakes. One after another, they will be trying to actually take advantage of it. And somehow, it's all about timing. Who makes the more mistakes and who makes the most crucial decision making based off that mistake that was done. So EVOS, somehow, I do see they're trying to actually make sure they have the good formation coming in from mid. Lazy Spot, they're denying it for a while. But again, there's a lot of waves they need to be aware of. And here on out, they're still heading off. And we do see Jinx Spawns is just overlooking, trying to actually have a really good control on that territory-wise of Lazy Esports.
EVOS actually has no idea that Pakbet is in this bush. He has been waiting for a very, very long time, but hasn't really found the target or the angle to really go in from yet. And now he's going to be joined by Shizo as well as Der from the back line. Maybe they can find Tawny. They don't actually know where the rest of Lazy is yet.
Oh, but he is going to go all out to Clo Koon. A lot of damage was done by Feather Air Strike as well. But at the same time, right here, he's going to be stunned out by Veldora coming in for the push. And they are going to be able to take down Dur by Annabelle as well. But at the same time, no! Puppet overextension will be punished by Nikki. And that's the initial state that EVOS Esport needed to get this Lord.
That should definitely be GG for EVOS. This Lord is free for them, standing for Lazy Esports. As long as they don't make mistakes that are too notable, you can tell that they just straight up have more damage than Lazy with this Airtail, with this Lucas as well. They just don't have to throw their bodies in. Slowly push in, escort the minion wave, use the Lord efficiently, and Lazy doesn't really have the tools to be able to defend. We could be witnessing the final moments right here unless Lazy is able to make something huge happen.
There, Shizo. So much damage already pulled out. He will be taken out by Veldora. Nothing can be done. The Crystals is already down to the numbers, giving the last win right here for the match number 3 in the hands of EVOS Esport 2-1.
I like it. That was no nonsense gameplay from EVOS. They know what is at stake. They know what it would cost them if they made a mistake right here. The moment that the Crystal